All right, I think we're good. I think we're rolling. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2024. This is Bryan, the Director of Skincare Research for Paula's Choice Skincare, back with an all-new live chat concerning one of the first of a handful of launches that we're going to be rolling out through this year. Some very exciting stuff coming, not the least of which is our new exfoliant, our skin perfecting 6% Mandelic Acid plus 2% Lactic Acid Exfoliant. It is the first, it's not our very first AHA exfoliant. Those of you who have been with the brand a long time may remember that our Resist Advanced Smoothing Treatment originally debuted in a liquid format. And then, based on feedback over the years and how people were using that product and what they wanted to see, we morphed that, we reformulated and morphed it into more of a serum texture, and that is still in the line today. But that didn't have any mandelic acid. That was just glycolic acid. Now we are bringing you, and largely this is by request, this interesting blend of mandelic acid and lactic acid, along with a host of other ingredients that all feed in and complement and build on what the chief exfoliating acids do. So this entire show is going to be about this new exfoliant because there is a lot to unpack, as they say. So I will be going over my notes. I will be talking about the key ingredients, where this product fits into routine, who it's best for, what do you do if you're just a huge fan of our 2% BHA liquid, our iconic bestseller, and you're kind of curious about this product too, like what's this new thing all about? Can you use both? Should you use both? And if so, how do you go about incorporating that? So we'll go over all of that. Feel free to drop questions throughout the hour into the chat. I will get to as many of those live as I can. And so in the meantime, oh, by the way, it's been a while since we've chatted, but in the interim, since last month, I turned 50. So I'm, as of last Christmas, I'm 50 years old. Yay, it wasn't at all traumatic. You know, I thought it would be. Different realizations, you know, turning 50 versus what happened when I turned 40. There's been a lot of stability in my life and a lot of positive support. So the stability aspect, not just in like my personal life, but also my professional life, in that I am entering my 24th year with Paula's Choice Skincare, and what a ride. It's just been, and it continues to be great. I love this brand. I love what I get to do. I love combining my passion for research on ingredients and skin physiology and skin conditions, and then working with just a brilliant team of people, because it absolutely takes a village. It's certainly not just me, bringing these remarkable products into the world and then being able to share our enthusiasm about them. So that is what this is about today. Sometimes we do the live chats about a specific product when the launch warrants it, and I certainly think this one does. So, as I mentioned, this is the Skin Perfecting. The Skin Perfecting is our subcategory of leave-on facial exfoliants. So we have a large collection of both alpha hydroxy acid and beta hydroxy acid exfoliants, as many of you know. The new AHA exfoliant is, as I mentioned, our first liquid exfoliant. It joins our Skin Perfecting 8% AHA gel, the Skin Perfecting 8% AHA lotion, and then within our Resist line, which is our anti-aging collection, in the range that is better suited for normal to dry skin, we have the Resist Daily Smoothing Treatment, which is a 5% alpha hydroxy acid, and all of these I've mentioned so far are fronted by glycolic acid, which is kind of the granddaddy of the AHAs. And then also in the Resist line is the Advanced Smoothing Treatment, which has 10% glycolic acid. So that is our most potent freestanding leave-on AHA exfoliant. We also have a rinse-off peel in the Skin Perfecting line that is 25% alpha hydroxy acid blend. So that's getting you glycolic, lactic, malic, mandelic, and tartaric, along with 2% of salicylic acid. So we have pretty much everything you need now to meet your exfoliating needs based on skin type, based on concern, based on preference. So this new exfoliant is currently available on paulachoice.com in the United States, Canada, and Australia, as well as in Sephora stores and online in both the United States and Canada. Yes, for those of you who do not know, our neighbors up north, Paula's Choice is in Canada, Sephora stores. How cool is that? I remember when I used to go to Vancouver, British Columbia, when we were working on the Don't Go to the Cosmetics Counter Without Me books, and I would spend an untold number of hours in their local Sephora stores because they were always so kind and helpful, and more than once they probably thought I was either really obsessive or just strange because I would sit there on the floor writing notes, writing ingredient lists down, testing makeup. It was just, when I think of what we used to go to bring those books to market and how much easier it would be to do it today. But I digress. So this new product is lightweight. I mentioned it's a liquid. It is absolutely a leave-on formula. It is designed to provide fast resurfacing, and it contains an advanced combination of time-released gentle lactic acid along with mandelic acid and specialized plant extracts. We'll go over all of this individually, but just from an overview perspective, the formula in its entirety is designed to revive and correct skin's natural shedding process, support youthful cellular renewal, as well as a healthy microbiome or skin's invisible barrier, smooth imperfections, and boost elasticity along with diminish fine lines and wrinkles. Sign me up, right? So I've personally been going back and forth with this exfoliant and our Calm 1% BHA lotion. I am a once a day exfoliant user. Some people find that twice a day works best for them. I always tell people start slowly when you're new to leave-on acid-based exfoliants. Monitor how your skin responds and adjust frequency of use as tolerated, to make it sound official. But so as a once a day exfoliant user, I use the Skin Perfecting Mandelic Lactic one night, and then I use the BHA lotion the next. Main reason I do that is because I find that balance. I've really, for a long time, I've gone back and forth from AHA to BHA because I'm just one of those people that I think overall I get better results when I do that. It just I can check more boxes, so to speak, when I bounce back and forth between two different leave-on exfoliants. But many of you will find that just one leave-on exfoliant, even if it's used twice a day, will be great. That'll be all you need. So don't panic if you're not using two. It's not a requirement. It's just that over time and experimentation, that's what I found works great for me. So why did Paula's Choice develop this exfoliant? Well, as you may know, our collection of leave-on exfoliants leans heavily on BHA, otherwise known as beta-hydroxy acid. And although there's only one BHA, which is salicylic acid, there are several AHAs available to formulate with. So we've previously relied heavily on glycolic acid, like I mentioned, all of the exfoliants that contain glycolic acid just a moment ago, mostly because that is the AHA that has the most research behind it. However, lactic acid is a close second. It is equally impressive. And the research on mandelic acid, while not as prodigious as for glycolic or lactic, it's certainly compelling, and it's growing quite a bit. It's one of the newer AHAs, so we're seeing more intense study of that, both in skincare daily use strengths like 5 to 10%, and the peel strengths, which generally go, mandelic acid peels typically start around 40% and can go upwards of 70%. And it's really interesting to kind of monitor and track the results. Some of the peels have compared mandelic to salicylic for concerns like acne and clogged pores, and they've gotten some very comparable results there. But interestingly, because of the differences in potency, it requires quite a bit more, like 45%. You need 45% mandelic acid in a professional peel to get near equivalent to equivalent results to what 30% salicylic acid can do. Anyway, we also wanted to go beyond AHA exfoliation, so we paired the alpha hydroxy acids, the mandelic and the lactic, with an ingredient blend fronted by yarrow extract, which is proven to work on skin's ability to renew itself by basically stimulating that crosstalk between skin cells that can tend to either get muddied or confused or just become faulty and slow down with age. The pH of this exfoliant, like all of our AHA exfoliant, is between 3.0 and 4.0. Our not accelerated stability testing, what is it called? I'm blanking on that. The long-term stability testing, I think there's a better word for that. But the pH is pretty much held consistent around 3.5, which is right in line with what you want for an AHA. But we do have that, it's spec'd to potentially go up to 4. Still effective. The long-term stability results didn't show that it got that high, but that is still within the effective range. So who is this Skin Perfecting Mandelic Lactic Exfoliant Liquid for? It is designed for all skin types. It is safe for all skin tones. Mandelic acid is not known to trigger pigmentation. Some people of color will find that higher strengths of glycolic or lactic acid can cause hyperpigmentation. It's a part of an irritant response to those acids. Doesn't happen for everyone who has melanin-rich skin, and the issue, if it does occur at all, tends to reverse itself when the product in question is discontinued. But the balance of research on mandelic acid has not shown that it causes that. So that is why we are really making the point that this is safe for all skin tones. It is also suitable for sensitive skin, even people who describe their sensitive skin as if they describe themselves as being stingers. The lactic acid is clinically proven to be as gentle as water on skin. I would say this exfoliant is best for those with a rough texture and a dull complexion due to sun damage. But it's also excellent for anyone concerned about the use of a leave-on exfoliant potentially leading to barrier impairment. We'll talk more about that in a moment. The key features and benefits: it improves signs of sun damage, including dullness and fine lines, helps reverse a compromised skin barrier. It is gentle and highly effective no matter your skin type or color, and it renews at the surface and below, so skin will continue to look fresh and smooth since that buildup of dead surface cells is consistently discouraged. So you're taking care of that buildup that you see, but then the yarrow extract is the primary ingredient that is really working as that cell-to-cell communicator that is discouraging that buildup from accumulating again. It's kind of like it's not. The first thing that came to mind is that it's kind of like the coating that nonstick pans have, and you prevent that buildup of food when you're cooking. This isn't putting a film on your skin, but what it's doing is encouraging that natural renewal process, so those cells don't have the same opportunity to build up and become sluggish like they tend to do, either due to age, just the passage of time, or environmental damage that we all accumulate. It is also, it's a water-based formula. It is a non-greasy liquid that absorbs very quickly. If any of you have used, we have a BHA exfoliant in the Resist for normal to oily skin called the Daily Pore Refining Treatment. If you've used that exfoliant, it is roughly the same texture. So it's water light, sinks in well, it does not leave a residue. Really easy to use. You can pour some into your non-dominant hand, and then use your dominant hand. For me, I'm a lefty, so I would do this to apply it, or you can just rub both of your hands together, wash them first, and then pat or kind of lightly push it into the skin. I tend to just flip over the cotton pad from my toner and douse the other side with this guy, and then use that opposite side of my cotton pad. So I'm using one cotton pad for 2 products. I'm convincing myself that I'm wasting less, which really I am, but that is one option as well to apply it. So how does this AHA exfoliant differ from our other AHA exfoliants? This is our gentlest AHA exfoliant due to the type of lactic acid used, as well as the inclusion of mandelic acid. As the largest molecular size AHA, it is the slowest to penetrate skin's uppermost layers, and it also penetrates in the most even fashion. So it's more of a slow and steady wins the race type of alpha hydroxy acid, but it's still capable of producing impressive results. This is also, I think I mentioned this at least once, is our only liquid AHA. Our other AHAs have lotion, gel, or serum textures. So if you are a fan of lightweight liquid exfoliants, this is absolutely worth considering. All of our AHA exfoliants are formulated with an eye on gentleness. For example, the original 8% AHA gel contains chamomile and green tea to help reduce irritation. The Resist Daily Smoothing Treatment contains curcuminoids, chamomile-derived bisabolol, which is a great soothing agent, as well as allantoin. And then following suit, the Skin Perfecting 6% Mandelic Acid plus 2% Lactic Acid Liquid Exfoliant contains the yarrow extract, which is inherently soothing, plus a fermented blend of antioxidant-rich plant extracts. And what's exciting about the fermentation is that not only heightens the antioxidant capabilities of those plant extracts, and I'll name them in a moment, but it also produces several what's called postbiotics. And what postbiotics do on skin surface is they help reinforce and strengthen your microbiome, because the natural probiotic bacteria that we have on our skin, and it differs from person to person, and it doesn't stay the same depending on where you are, depending on what time of year it is, what time of the day it is, who you're around. It's always shifting. The nice thing about giving your microbiome postbiotics is that the prebiotics can sense those, and they will use them accordingly to help right the ship. So if things are a little out of whack, it can take those postbiotics as a source of nutrients to help them do the right thing, to help them control an overpopulation of certain types of bacteria that in a lower amount, they're perfectly fine. Again, I'm talking about what's naturally present on skin. And they can help equalize, or sometimes it's balance. I'm not a big fan of the balance your microbiome claim, because just for the reasons I mentioned, that everyone's microbiome is so different. So balancing it with these probiotics, as it's often tied to, it's impossible to know what your microbiome may need probiotic wise that mine doesn't. And then what happens when, if the match is good, what happens when things go south and there's some fighting that's going on, and then all of a sudden it's not so good anymore? Do you go out and buy another probiotic product? It just kind of gets you on this endless loop of never really being sure if it's working for you. So I much prefer the option of letting the skin utilize the postbiotics that it needs to fuel and rebuild and strengthen its own microbiome when that's needed. And so you just put it on, and you don't really have to worry about it. All right, key ingredient time. Let me take a swig of water. Not surprising, we're leading off with mandelic acid. That is present in a 6% concentration. Mandelic acid is a water-soluble, gentle alpha hydroxy acid whose, we mentioned the larger molecular size, slowing the penetration of the skin, and that allows for progressive results with extremely low risk of causing a stinging or otherwise sensitive or sensitized response. Interestingly, although it's rare for it to do that, when such a reaction does occur, it tends to be transient, even on people that have self-identified sensitive skin. One study I found looked at subjects that applied either a 5 or a 10% concentration of mandelic acid, and there was a minimal amount of sting reported, and it was over in a flash. So it's not an exfoliating acid whose stinging sensation should intensify the longer it's on your skin. And if that happens with other AHA exfoliants, the best advice is to rinse it from skin. That's not the way they're supposed to work. So your skin is having an abnormal response to the product. It may just be too strong for you. It could be another problem with the formula. Maybe there's a lot of alcohol or fragrance or something like that in it, but rinse it off either way. Interestingly, this is very kind of it is a unique thing about mandelic acid. Once it penetrates skin's water-loving or hydrophilic portion, it goes on to become lipophilic, penetrating the oil portion of skin. And this has to do with what's called a log P value, which is a measure of a preference of a chemical to dissolve in substances like oil and water. So mandelic acid has a log P value of 0.68. Glycolic acid's p-value is negative 1.05, with the negative value meaning it has a higher affinity for the water phase. So glycolic acid is squarely in the water-soluble camp of alpha hydroxy acids. So the closer to zero that a log p-value is, the more it has equal affinity for the water and the oil phases. So 0.68 log value for mandelic acid gets it fairly close to 1, which explains why it is kind of has this dual personality and can work within the water and the oil-loving layers of skin. The log p-value of salicylic acid, for those who are curious, is 2.26. So we're like well past 1 right there. So that puts it firmly in the oil-soluble portion of skin. It really needs to get into that oil layer for maximum efficacy. And when you formulate correctly with it, that's exactly what it will do. That also gives, and I'll go into this in a bit more detail in a moment, but that also gives some credence to if you are somebody that has very congested skin, very oily skin, you're also dealing with different types of breakouts, whether it's inflammatory acne or non-inflammatory acne, you'll still want to use a beta hydroxy acid exfoliant. But a product like this is something that you may want to consider experimenting with. Perhaps you apply this product in the morning because it's so water light, and then you use your 2% BHA liquid or the extra strength anti-redness exfoliating solution in our clear line for acne prone skin. Either one of those is what you would use at night to keep things under control, because the combination of the two is going to hit multiple pathways in skin. And again, that higher log P value of the salicylic acid is really what propels it further into the pore lining, helps break up those clogs that occur at the base of the pore, and helps to thin that thickened sebum, allowing it to flow more to the surface. Okay, so mandelic acid has been shown to also inhibit the melanin-stimulating enzyme tyrosinase. So it does help, it plays a role in helping to fade hyperpigmentation. It gently exfoliates, as I mentioned, to smooth skin's texture, and without causing post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation related to melanin in darker skins. In fact, there's some really interesting studies showing that it helps to successfully fade post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or acne marks in darker skin tones. Some people call those acne scars. They're not really acne scars because it's not permanent damage to the skin. It's not a wound per se where skin was cut or injured and then must heal and scar tissue forms. It's not the same physiologic process. I understand why they refer to as scars, because yeah, you've got a mark on your skin that you want gone, but a product like mandelic acid can really help to hasten the fading of those marks. In fact, in our clinical studies, we had some really nice before and after pictures of that on hyperpigmentation. Mandelic acid also has some slight antibacterial action that plays a helpful role in reducing all types of acne breakouts. It is considered suitable for rosacea-prone skin, and it can be, again, even if you are struggling with more stubborn hyperpigmentation issues like melasma, it can be a great adjunct to a hyperpigmentation fading treatment product or treatment products, because melasma can be so stubborn that many people will find that they do need to use more than one, sometimes even 2 or 3 products to keep it under control, keep it from coming back, and that's not even including sunscreen. From a technical standpoint, mandelic acid has 8 carbon molecules in its structure, which is much larger than the 2 carbon molecules found in glycolic acid. However, its pK value of 3.4 is lower than glycolic acid's pK value, which is 3.8. What is pK value? pK value is an indication of the strength of an acid based on a logarithmic scale when the acid is in a solution, such as water. What happens then is the acid does what is in chemistry referred to as dissociate, which basically means when dissociation happens, the molecule breaks down into smaller molecules that can have different functionality in the solution. This explains why mandelic acid can still be an effective AHA, yet is also gentler on skin. So overall, it is slightly stronger on the pK scale than glycolic acid, but because glycolic acid is so much smaller, when that dissociation happens, that already small molecule breaks down into even smaller molecules, which can give glycolic acid a faster onset of action, but the penetration may not quite be as even depending on the formulation, and it increases the potential for a sensitized response. Now, I say all that also knowing that a lot of people, whether you're using a well-formulated glycolic acid exfoliant from Paula's Choice or from another brand, you can tolerate glycolic acid just fine. And it does wonderful things for skin, as most of the AHAs do when they're properly formulated. I just didn't want it to sound like I was bashing glycolic acid in favor of mandelic acid. They're both great. One last point, though, regarding the comparison between the two. Mandelic acid does not make the skin as sun sensitive as glycolic or lactic acids can. However, regardless of which exfoliating acid you opt to put into your routine, daily use of a broad spectrum sunscreen is absolutely recommended. Worth noting, some of you may have heard that mandelic acid is derived from almonds, and you may be worried, well, if you have a nut allergy or a specific allergy to almonds, if you can use mandelic acid in our formula, and yes, you can, because the type that we are using is synthetic. It does not come from any type of nut, so therefore is safe for those with nut allergies. If you remain concerned, double check it with your pharmacist or healthcare provider and get their okay before trying this, but from our due diligence, you should be in the clear. The lactic acid in the formula is a special type. It is known as amphoteric lactic acid, and that is what gives it these properties where it still has some good exfoliating prowess, but it's actually as gentle to skin as water. And this was clinically tested among a group of people. It was tested on human skin, on real people who are self-identified stingers to lactic acid. They've used a lactic acid product in the past. Ouch, I can feel that stinging. It doesn't feel good. I want to rinse this off. So this special form of lactic acid is made via what's called an amphoteric complex, and that permits time-released penetration. Basically, the complex is, and amphoteric, you may have heard of like amphoteric surfactants, like what is in baby shampoo. That is the No More Tears. You know, you get baby shampoo in your eyes aren't going to sting because the amphoteric surfactants are so gentle. It is made by combining lactic acid with the amino acid arginine, and that works. The arginine works as a complexing agent to bond with the lactic acid by sort of a forced diffusion, and that creates a gentler molecule without losing the exfoliating properties of the lactic acid. So the peak concentration of lactic acid in the skin, it's again that slow and steady wins the race. It stays below the typical irritation threshold, which hovers right around 5%. The other nice thing that I like about lactic acid is that it has documented humectant properties, so it helps to draw and hold moisture within skin's uppermost layers. And this creates a nice, smooth, plump-looking surface that is aided by the major humectant in this formula, which is called 2,3-butanoediol. Sounds like a very chemical, almost scary name, but it's actually a natural, eco-friendly ingredient produced via fermentation. In fact, digestive fermentation in the human body can produce the same substance. So we're making this stuff, so it's pretty safe to put on the skin too. It's a lovely humectant. It also works to keep the key actives suspended evenly in a formula, so you don't have to do this before you use it. And the other nice thing about the 2,3-butanoediol is that it improves penetration. So it's just an overall great ingredient. I'm glad that we found it. I'm glad that we found a eco-friendly, sustainable source. So yay lab team at Paula's Choice. I had nothing to do with that decision, but I'm really glad that they found it. The next up is the biofermented blend of plant extracts. And this is that blend where the fermentation process, I'd love to go into detail about it. And there's certain things about it that we just were not told because they are proprietary to the supplier. But we do know that the micronutrients and the more potent, potentiated antioxidants in those plant extracts, the cherry blossom, the bayberry, and the chocolate, I think the other one is chocolate vine, let me double check as we get further along, support skin's microbiome and visibly reduce redness while they brighten the complexion. And again, going back to those before and afters that I mentioned, there were several of them on human subjects, the participants that had fair skin tones, so very easy to see redness versus no redness or less redness. And the befores where the redness was very apparent in the cheek area, and then 8 weeks later, when you see how much it had gone down from twice daily usage of this exfoliant. It was wonderful. But anyway, one of the reasons I think that we got those results and why this is going to be a very soothing option for people with redness-prone skin is that one of the major antioxidants that has come out of this fermented blend is quercetin. Quercetin has a very strong soothing action, and it can reduce nitric oxide production within skin's uppermost layers. Nitric oxide, why is it important to reduce that? It is a potent vasodilator, basically a substance within skin that can expand capillaries, and what happens when you expand or widen capillaries but beyond what they should be, you start seeing that visible redness on the skin. So discouraging that, which is one of the things that the quercetin and the ferment blend does, can be really important for soothing skin, reducing redness, and improving skin's ability to tolerate the alpha hydroxy acid blend, as if it wasn't already gentle enough. The other thing that the blend does is it supports structural helpers of collagen known as tenascin and doucorin. Both of those are extracellular matrix glycoproteins, and that's a mouthful. And essentially, by supporting them, by helping to prevent their degradation, it's going to lead to denser feeling skin. So you will notice, particularly after about 4 to 8 weeks of daily use of this exfoliant, you will notice that your skin is also feeling and looking firmer. And if you are of a certain age, I'd say anyone past the age of 35, hello, yeah, that's kind of a nice benefit to have, and the more products you can get that from, the better. The plant ingredients in the blend, I mentioned, it's Prunus lanaceana flower extract, which is commonly known as cherry blossom. Some of you who have been to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., may have seen the cherry blossom trees along the mall in that area of D.C. They're just gorgeous. They bloom in the spring. The Akiba quinata stem extract, that is the chocolate vine, and then the America cerifera fruit is bayberry. So those are the main plant ingredients that are in this ferment. and they are fermented in a lactobacillus ferment lysate as well as a yeast known as Saccharomyces lysate. Revisiting the yarrow extract, which you'll see on the ingredient list as Echinacea millefolium extract, it helps to activate epidermal differentiation and improves that cell-to-cell communication by stimulating key factors, primarily neuropeptides in skin surface layers that are responsible for cell differentiation and balanced cell turnover. So this was the activity of the receptor sites, these areas in skin surface layers that communicate with each other. It decreases with age. What doesn't? Playing a so when the communication slows down, that absolutely plays a pivotal role in the slowdown of normal cell turnover, leading to a buildup of dull, dry, dead skin that saps skin of its healthy radiance. So, you wake up one morning, catch sight of yourself, and you're just like, my skin just doesn't have the luminosity or the glow it once did. It's not looking as healthy anymore, and I'm not quite sure why. I haven't changed my diet. I'm actually going to the gym. I'm, making a conscious effort to be healthy, but what are you doing to spur that natural renewal process that does tend to become more sluggish with the passage of time and environmental damage? So I think the easiest way to think of it is that the yarrow extract helps to enhance the exchange of information that's required to help normalize skin's surface cell renewal process. And it is a completely different mechanism of action than the manner in which AHAs, I'm looking down at my dog, he's wagging his tail, and I don't know why, it's just so cute. But it's a completely different mechanism of action from what alpha and beta hydroxy acids do. So again, what I said at the top of the show, everything else that's in here supporting the acids is enhancing or complementing the remarkable results those ingredients in and of themselves have for skin. The yarrow plant had the best results for this. Was tested with over 1,200 different ingredients, mostly natural. So it's a long time in development, and the yarrow plant had the best results. It's important to stimulate the correct receptor sites, because some of the plant extracts that they found stimulated the wrong receptor sites, or they stimulated the sites too much, and that can have some unintended consequences, including some extracts, not yarrow, that showed an increased deposition of melanin. So they caused melanin to accumulate, I should say, where there was already enough there. More was not needed. And that's obviously not what we want from a product that's claiming to improve uneven skin tone, fade hyperpigmentation, and whatnot. The other thing that was interesting from clinical trials is that the yarrow extract can boost epidermal renewal on par with 3% glycolic acid formulated at a pH of 3.5. So it was also a way for us to get some additional resurfacing properties in there without putting the acid load at what could be too high a level for a fairly large subset of people. And the yarrow extract, when compared with glycolic acid at 3%, overall it had better tolerability. So again, the ingredients in this new exfoliant are really supporting our claims of it being soothing, our claims of it being gentle, our claims of its suitability for all skin types and all skin tones. Let's see. What else should we mention about yarrow? It's organically grown, and it's EcoCert certified, which means it is free from GMOs, animal ingredients, and unwanted impurities. In fact, this new exfoliant can absolutely be considered vegan suitable. A couple other supporting ingredients worth calling out is one is called saccharide isomerate, and that is a complex hydrating mixture. It's made from corn-derived sugars which have humectant properties. What happens is, and why it is called isomerate, is those sugars are isomerized, and that is a process in which rearranges the molecular structure to change the way a subject works, as well, or change the way an ingredient works, as well as changing the results that it can deliver. So in this case, by isomerizing the corn-derived sugars, the result closely matched the carbohydrate blend that is present in skin's natural moisturizing factor. So this gives this saccharide isomerate a natural affinity for skin, and it allows it to provide prolonged hydration. So again, this is not an exfoliant that is going to dry out your skin or dehydrate it. It's not an exfoliant that is going to damage your barrier, because this ingredient is also clinically proven to boost ceramides. Those are the key fatty acids that skin's barrier needs. And it also has been shown to boost barrier strengthening proteins like filaggrin that, again, are also, so this is absolutely not damaging skin's barrier. If anything, every time you use it, you are reinforcing skin's barrier and helping to make it stronger. By the way, I've noticed great results using this. Again, I use this at night, and then I follow with a couple of different treatment products depending on what I'm shuffling in that night. And then I've been finishing with the Resist Advanced Barrier Repair Moisturizer, and I love how smooth and plump and healthy looking that has gotten my skin, particularly now that we are firmly in winter here, lower humidity, drier indoor air. It's been great. Okay. Other housekeeping things to mention about the Skin Perfecting: 6% Mandelic Acid, 2% Lactic Acid Exfoliant. Note to self, talk to brand about not doing such long product names. It is not tested on animals. It is cruelty-free like all of our products, fragrance-free, colorant-free. For those who are concerned about this, it is both silicone and siloxane-free, no parabens. It is considered gluten-free. I mentioned it was considered vegan suitable, and the bottle, exclusive of the cap and then this orifice reducer, is made of 96% post-consumer recycled plastic. We have really stepped up our use of PCR plastics to reduce our environmental impact. I love that we're doing that. It is not the cheapest way to go for packaging, but it is absolutely the better way to go for the health of our planet. So I'm all for that. Let's round down with some clinicals just to share with you, because we've got some really exciting results. Twice daily usage for 3 weeks led to, and this is all, these 3 stats are subjective assessments, meaning these are what the people using the products reported. I believe this was 30 people. 100% agreed that their complexion, actually yes, 30 people. 100% agreed that their complexion was brightened. This is after 3 weeks, twice daily use. 100% agreed their skin felt softer, and 100% agreed that their skin felt smoother. Now, it's impressive that we got such unanimous agreement. Numbers, typically you're lucky to get into the low 90s on that, where the participants either strongly agree or agree. There's always a handful of people that choose the middle option, which is typically phrased as neither agree nor disagree. I call it the meh option. It's like, well, maybe. I don't know. I guess so. So this 100% are people is the totality of participants who either agreed with that statement or strongly agreed with that statement. So that is very good evidence that this product is doing the basics of what you want a leave-on exfoliant to do. And then we did further clinical studies. These were objectively measured, so this is not just what the people using the product thought or reported. After twice daily use for 8 weeks, and I should mention, at no point in these twice daily usage did any of the participants drop out due to irritation. This was an extremely well-tolerated exfoliant, which is what we were hoping for, and it's great that we were able to achieve that. So after 8 weeks of twice daily usage, clinically proven to improve luminosity and brighten skin, soften lines and wrinkles, improve skin texture, improve skin tone, fade the look of dark spots, strengthen skin's barrier, and improve skin's firmness. So if anyone still listening is excited to use this product, let me tell you how to add it to your routine. You can use it up to twice daily after cleansing and toning. Then you would follow with any serums, boosters, or treatments based on your skin concerns. Those serums, boosters, and treatments can be layered from thinnest to thickest texture. If they're all roughly the same type of texture, it's personal preference. Experiment to see what happens when you switch up the order. Hint, probably not a lot. It's not in terms of efficacy, no, but you may find that, oh, if I put the C15 booster on before the peptide booster, I like how that feels, or it layers better for me when I put X moisturizer on at the end. So again, you got to experiment. During the day, you're going to be completely shocked by this. No, I'm kidding. You're going to want to finish with a broad spectrum sunscreen rated SPF 30 or greater, and then at night you'd finish with your moisturizer of choice that is suitable for your skin type, and then an eye cream or eye area treatment if that is a product that you use. How to use with the 2% BHA liquid. I mentioned alternating nights, which is what I do with our 1% BHA lotion. You could absolutely follow that pattern using the 2% BHA liquid. You could put on this exfoliant as part of your morning routine. Use the 2% BHA liquid at night. You could use this morning and night on a Monday, and the 2% BHA liquid morning and night on a Tuesday, assuming you're already up to twice daily usage. So again, it's all about experimenting. Some people may find, I would consider those people more seasoned users of leave-on exfoliants. You're the kind of person that could go in and get a professional peel every 10 days and be fine, all the better for it. You may find that you can layer them one over the other at the same time. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's not dangerous. But you would want to monitor how your skin responds, and if you happen to see or feel any signs of irritation, okay, I pushed it too far, let's not do that again, and then you just separate usage. But this being the thinner texture, this being more liquidy compared to the 2% BHA liquid, because of that glycol load it has, it's just more slippery, a bit thicker, still fluid though. Anyway, that would go on second. You'd put this guy on first, the other second. Another thing you could do if you're using them at the same time is dispense both onto a cotton pad and just massage over the face and neck and then move on to the next step. Okay. Before I get to as many questions as I can, while we still have some time left, I'm going to get to some recent frequently asked questions that have come up on the Paula's Choice Instagram page. Try to make this a bit rapid fire. Can it be used by men who shave daily? Yes. In fact, I have tried to get this to sting my face after I shave. I've deliberately used this on a few occasions as aftershave. I know I mentioned that I've been using it at night. That is 100% true. I shave in the morning, but I wanted to see how this would feel because so much went into making sure that this was as gentle as possible. And never is my skin more vulnerable in day-to-day life than right after I've shaved. And I could not get this to make my skin sting. Anecdotal, your mileage may vary, but generally speaking, knowing how soothing this is, I don't think it's a problem for a guy or a gal to use this after shaving. Can it help with acne? We're not making direct acne claims. Neither Mandelic or Lactic Acid are on the over-the-counter acne monograph in the United States. However, studies have definitely shown improvements in comedonal, which is the non-inflammatory type of acne, and regular acne with ongoing use of Mandelic Acid. Not 100% sure, what's exactly contributing to that. And it's definitely true that in the comparisons between higher strength Mandelic acid peels that you get from a dermatologist, for example, compared to salicylic acid peels, the salicylic acid had the overall better results. It wasn't majorly statistically significant compared to Mandelic acid. And the other thing of note was that when you're talking about higher percentages like that of the sal acids, and specifically this was 30%. The Mandelic acid at 45% was better tolerated overall. So that's good. I would say if salicylic acid really should be your go-to to start out if you're dealing with acne, whether it's inflammatory acne, the red raised pimples, the pustules, or clogged pores, your blackheads, your flesh-colored bumps, milia, would be salicylic acid. You could weave this in, though, and see if you get even better results with the combination, or if you know that for whatever reason your skin just doesn't do well with salicylic acid. It either doesn't work for your breakouts or it just causes too much dryness or whatever. Try this, because it's really, when you have breakouts or clogged pores of any type, using a leave-on exfoliant is just so foundational to helping to get that issue under control. Another common question was whether the mandelic acid in this exfoliant is derived from almonds. It is not. It is synthetic. Does it give you glass skin? Well, you tell me. No, I don't. Oh, the glass skin, the donut skin, it absolutely gives you very smooth skin. So I think people kind of have roving definitions of what glass skin is. I mean, does this leave a glass-like sheen on the skin? Not really. The 2% BHA liquid is definitely going to give you more of an instant glow, and that humectancy is going to be a bit more tangible. But this absolutely makes your skin smooth as glass. I mean, it helps to refine the texture so much, and those of you who are struggling with a dull or uneven skin tone are going to see really positive results on that as well. Next one, if I already use AHA, should I use this one too? This really comes down to, you would need to try it and experiment with your current AHA, alternating times of day to use, or even potentially layering them depending on how strong that other one is, and see what kind of results you get. For many reasons, tolerability, aesthetics, results that you'll see in the mirror, you might end up preferring this one to one of the others, even if it's one from Paula's Choice. It's very individual. But if let's say you're using an AHA from Paula's Choice that you've used for years, you're happy with it, you see no reason to change, no, I don't think you need to run out and purchase this one. But if you have a curiosity about it, and you're just like, yeah, what the heck, maybe the next time I'm due for my AHA, I'll get this instead, give it a go. Maybe you'll like the results even more. Maybe you'll be like, yeah, it's about the same. And then, in that case, maybe this one, because it's so light, becomes your summertime, or when it's really hot and humid out, AHA. And if you're normally using an AHA lotion, for example, that is your go-to in the colder, drier, in the United States. That would be the wintry months for a good part of the country. And then, is this okay for sensitive skin? Yes, it absolutely is. It does not have, and this is the reason we did a BHA exfoliant in our Calm line, which is specifically for sensitive or reactive skin. Mandelic and lactic acids don't have the same potency of soothing the skin that salicylic acid does. But salicylic acid for sensitive skin can be a little bit too potent for some people when it's used at 2%, which is why we went with the 1% for Calm. But again, no reason not to try this, especially if you've had an issue with glycolic acid exfoliants in the past being just too potent or too stingy for your sensitive skin. All right, let's see. I think I've got some congratulations. I've got some hellos. I've got some clapping. I've got some cute little smiley face heart emojis. Cardigan. Thank you for saying something about the cardigan. I bought this literally because it didn't feel too warm. Like, I'm not one of those people that gets like super cold, but when I do get a chill, I want to put something like this on. And I love cardigans because they're so easy to just take off when you're already, comfortable, as opposed to pulling a big old fluffy wool sweater over your head. Anyway, probably too much information, but there you go. Katie says this new exfoliant is wonderful. Regarding retinol, do you still prefer the new triple action serum to the retinol 0.3% with bakuchiol? Katie, the interesting timing on that question, because I'm just about done with the triple active total repair serum, and by done I don't mean like I'm quitting it. What I mean is my bottle is almost out, and I have a bottle of the clinical 0.3% retinol, 2% bakuchiol. There we go with our long names again. Ready to go. So I'm going to be segueing to that. So, ask me next month's live chat, because by then I think I'll probably have a good 3 weeks under my belt with that product. I have a feeling I might go back to the triple active total repair serum, because I think I'm getting a bit more mileage with that one for my hyperpigmentation concerns, that I'm not quite getting the same out of the clinical product. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go back to it. And we answered your question about the Mandelic Acid source. Susan MCF1, I like the idea of gentler AHAs because I use tretinoin nightly and glycolic acid stings. I look forward to trying this new product. Did you say this product can be used during the day under what? Under sunscreen? Yes, it can. It absolutely can. I have not been able... I've tried this at night and a few times during the day when we were testing various formulas and layering a lot of different types of products over it. I couldn't get this to do anything unwelcome. You know, it doesn't peel, it doesn't ball, it doesn't make products feel too greasy or anything like that. So it's probably one of our easiest textures to incorporate into your routine, regardless of what you're using. Angie, thank you for the vote of confidence. This caused no irritation for my dry, sensitive, rosacea-prone skin. That's awesome. And then she says, Bryan, if you have a red patch, is it possible that this would burst it into smaller spots before fading completely? Yes, very good question. Sometimes the reduction in that redness is going to be... it's not going to, you have this patch, it's not going to evenly fade, start getting, go from red to dark pink, and then it's not going to get progressively lighter or really more back to what the surrounding skin color is evenly. There's going to be a progression, and you may go through that period where it starts to look a little pixelated. Pixelated is a good word, where you're still going to see some darker spots intermixed with the areas that are lightening a little bit faster. Why that happens, I'm not exactly sure. And of course, making things more confusing is it varies by individual, but it is not what I would consider an unusual response. Anne says, can we use peptides, copper peptides, in the same skincare routine with your new exfoliant? Yes. Really, the only contraindication with copper peptides is avoiding ascorbic acid at the same time because of some complexing that can occur. But even that, the jury isn't necessarily 100% in on that. But for people who just want that reassurance that they're getting the most out of their copper peptides, just a good general rule of thumb to follow is don't apply copper peptides at the same time you're applying a higher strength ascorbic acid vitamin C product. The vitamin C esters, or sometimes referred to as derivatives that convert to ascorbic acid in the skin, those don't seem to be an issue. So your ingredients like tetrahexyl diesel ascorbate, ascorbyl glucoside, 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid, all of which we use in our C5 moisturizer eye cream and the C25 serum that launched last year. Those are all fine. And then Desiree says, just popping on to say hi, Bryan. Happy to report I was able to use the new exfoliator on my red-eye flight last night. Love that it leaves skin looking and feeling fresh, not greasy or sensitized. Poor Desiree she's in New York now for an event featuring this product, and she ended up having her original flight canceled and was able to get on an overnight flight, and we are kindred spirits in the sense that both of us find it nearly impossible to fall asleep and stay asleep on planes. I envy the people that are already zonked out before takeoff and they somehow stay asleep the whole flight. I've sat next to those people. I'm just like, how do you do that? But anyway, she made it there safely, and I'm sure the event tomorrow will be a big success. So thanks, Desiree. And let's close out with Andrea. We are like perfect timing here. I'm excited about this new product. My skin does not tolerate glycolic acid. This sounds just like the right alternative product. I've been waiting from Paula's Choice. Can't wait to try it. Andrea, please come back. I know you're one of our regulars. I'd love to know what you think about this product once you do try it. And with that, I am going to wrap things up. I'll be back next month and every month thereafter for the remainder of the year with a new live chat. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you for your ongoing loyalty and support of Paula's Choice. We wouldn't be where we are today without people like you who are supporting us, who are loving our products. And it's, again, going into my 24th year, it is just so incredibly gratifying to know that all of the work that goes into our products is being appreciated, that you guys are seeing it, you're feeling it. It just makes it all worthwhile. So I don't mean this to sound cheesy, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for making Paula's Choice your choice. And I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.